Okay, so I wanted to do a reading today since we all know we pretty much, as far as tarot goes, we are in the phase of a tower moment. And the tower moment is just like it sounds. It's when the tower, the structure, the support, life as we know it, literally comes crumbling down and falls apart. Now, tower moments are an interference. They are a call for change and a call for help. Um, so not only is it a tower moment, it's also a passage. It also means that there's something that needs to be looked at that we haven't been paying attention to. And because of that, the percussion of it is going to be a tower moment or an interference. Sometimes this is destiny. Sometimes this is divine order taking place. It's the part in which the way that the consciousness develops and grows. We have cycles, certain things that we learn, and then when we've completed that, sometimes we have a tower moment that kind of just breaks everything down and brings us into a fresh new start or a fresh new beginning. And this is the natural cycle of life. This is what death is. And we really misunderstand death quite a bit. Um, Death is just as important as a new beginning and new life. They are interconnected, they are linked to one another. You cannot start a new life or a fresh new start without death, okay? So, that being said, the one card that I pulled at the end of this reading that I asked for, I said just give me one card for this reading to sum it all up, and the card that I received was the Child. So it's this card. It is one of, excuse my nails, um, it is one of my favorite, absolute favorite cards in this deck, and this is one of my favorite decks. It is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And so the child. So the child is about being born into innocence again, but it's so much more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of the things that I underlined to kind of get this reading going. What I want to point out is that the child comes to show you how you can correct the course of your life without being punished. Set yourself free from your conditioning for suffering. You were born unfettered and happy and can be so again if you make the choice right now. The child will help you climb out of the hole you may have dug yourself into to recover your sense of play. The child knows the way to joy and happiness. The child offers the return of a second innocence, a time born of wisdom and not of naivety. So that's the thing about survival, and that's the thing about the ego. Sometimes it tricks you into thinking that you're making a smart choice, but it is actually quite naive, and can trick us into doing things that we don't want to do, that aren't authentic to ourselves, because we don't trust. We fear. That's what the ego is. Ego is fear. Ego is protection. And so it says this again, this card allows you to correct your course. It gives you a second chance, gives you redemption, into entering heaven while on earth. So I thought that was very powerful. And one of the things there's this song I really like, and she pretty much says, I am what I am. Don't try to change me. I stand where I stand. And I feel like that is a battle that all of us have probably been facing almost in every relationship that we've had, including the structure and the paradigm in which the way our system and our society is set up. And that's why it comes through in our relationships. People don't understand this concept of letting people be who they are, and understanding almost kind of this high priestess knowledge that there's a lot of wisdom under, there's a lot of wisdom that is very underlying. Sometimes you don't see it right away with the naked eye, and every one of us has this kind of high priestess knowledge or this high priestess gift that we come into this world with to bring, to help teach and unfold, and bring the sacred knowledge and the sacred little pieces of the puzzle. And we are constantly, from a young age, trying to be changed. We're being told the choices that, we're not given the chance to make choices. We are told what we are going to do, what we are going to learn, what type of structure, what type of system, what type of life we are going to be living, really, in all reality. We think we have freedom, but we really don't. We're born into a structure and a system that is trying to change you and mold you from the minute you are born. And this is a spider web that webs out and literally affects everybody in every relationship. And it's a huge, huge, huge issue. One of our probably what a lot of our problems resolve around, because if we listen to the intuition of our child, it's much more harmonious. It actually knows more about flow and abundance and about happiness. There is a sense of a carefree attitude, and I'm not trying to say that we should all just be carefree, la-di-da-di-da. I mean, that is not true. But it's definitely something that is lacking in our ability to be able to connect to the moment and find the meaning in each moment so that we can learn and we can develop properly. And this kind of beginning stage really gets shackled down or cut off, and it affects our development, and this is where our problems begin. So if we trace back all the way to some of our issues, it really starts there when we are a child. But that being said, this passage really is a tower moment. It really is bringing things down so that we can find ourselves again, and so that we can build anew and come into connection to who we are and what really is essential to who we are. So that being said, that's the card that I got. That was the generalization of the reading. And so we have passage. So I received passage and I received communication. So this is passage, which is, I love this card. It's number 13, which is, again, this is the cycle of the moon. So the moon is actually really about phases and cycles, okay? That is the high priestess. That is the moon energy. All about phases, cycles, sacred knowledge, learning, okay? And then communication. So to me, and again, you have communication, so you have similar energy. You have the wolf howling at the moon. So to me, this communication is very much actually more so about listening. It's not necessarily, we have so much misconceptions, or there's so much we don't understand about what communication really means, because again, we're so caught up in the external part of reality, the sun part, that we forget about the moon part. And the moon part is actually really about listening to you. And so this passage is very much about communication and listening to your inner child, listening to your high priestess energy, listening to your intuition, and listening to what is essential to you. Before this tower moment, we were becoming so robotic that all of these things that were truly essential to us, we were beginning to forget and were dropping at the wayside, and it was a huge issue. And no wonder why Mother Earth came in and said, all right, it's time. I need to heal, and you guys need to chill. Okay, it's time. I know for me, before this tower moment, I don't know if any of you guys felt the energy, but it was getting intense, and I was getting very unhappy, very, very unhappy, and very out of balance. And it kind of was this feeling like, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. Not that I would physically do anything. It's not that traumatic to the point where you physically feel like you can't hold on, but you feel it, okay? You feel the energy. It's there. You're unhappy, you're cranky, you're mad, you're angry, you're grumpy, okay? All those feelings, all those emotions were really starting to build up, and then the tower just came crumbling down. Another thing I want to point out is the seer. So the seer, this is somebody who sees the truth and sees the meaning, the underlining meaning in between the thing, in between reality, or in between things. So that's what I'm talking about. All of the knowledge and all the things that I'm seeing, all of oracle readings and tarot, that's really sometimes what it's about. It can also be about very earthly matters, to help you as well. But it also is about seeing the higher truth, seeing from, like the cycles of the moon, like what is going on here? Why is this happening? And digging down deep into your intuition, into the depths of the water, and finding like literally what is going on here. And if you go deep within yourself and you stop getting caught up in all the external, you will find, you will see, you will know, and you will feel what is going on. So that is the seer. That is a lot about what right now is about. It's about seeing things that we weren't able to see before because of this surface energy that we were caught up in. The surface, the survival, the roboticness. We couldn't see anymore. We were do, that we forgot to be the seer, that we forgot to be the person that listens, okay? How many problems, how many issues have we had in our world that we've just let continue and continue and continue and continue because we decided not to listen to them? And that's not to say that anything is wrong with that. Because, once you really dive deep into this kind of seer knowledge, you know that there is no right or wrong, that everything is a lesson learned. But let's learn our lesson from this, right? Let's really learn it, and let's really realize this is kind of the state of existence that we were in, and maybe it honestly didn't feel so good, right? It didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. So let's listen to that. So we have that, and then some of these other cards really just link up behind everything that I'm talking about that I received. I received, so I went along with my triple goddess cards first as a template, and then I went on with the cosmic reading cards. And so the ones that I received between the two, so this is the triple goddess tarot, and then this is the cosmic reading cards. And I was kind of baffled too that communication at first kept coming up. I was like, why? Why is communication coming up? So this is the throat chakra. This is the communication, the throat chakra. And it has at the bottom, it has a whale, okay? And again, the whales are the record keepers, okay? And I know this as well because once you start to get in touch with your intuition and what you feel, when you feel a whale sing and you feel the ancientness of a whale and its energy, you can really feel that energy. And so they are known to be the record keepers. So that means that there's ancient knowledge there to be listened to. And that means that to be very mindful about what you're communicating, what you're expressing, what you're bringing to the surface. And so the part of that that's missing, like I was saying, is the listening. Okay, so this one's not necessarily about, bringing things to the surface or needing to communicate. It's really actually more about singing your song. And when you sing, you're listening to your heart, okay? So this is really about listening to your heart. And I know that as well because the cards that I received with it were be still. And when you receive be still, this means to be silent. This means to quiet your mind, quiet all the thinking thoughts, and again, to dive deep into those waters. Again, there's a connection there, deep waters and the whales. Dive deep into this place inside of you that is so deep. It is so quiet. It's underneath all the choppy waters. So go into that place, underneath all the choppy waters, underneath all of those thinking thoughts, and be still and listen. Listen, okay? Listen. And then, so I asked, why? Give me some more cards to go with these. And I received the heart chakra. Okay, I received the heart chakra, and then I received universal love. So this means this is about being still, feeling the universal love around you, and allowing your heart to open. Okay, the heart is what allows you to listen. I think I posted something on Instagram, very, very, very short little clip about how our third eye and our heart is about listening. Okay, so the heart is really about listening, healing, and letting go of whatever isn't helping you or serving you. And those emotions, that heart chakra, is really there to guide you. Like, I can't tell you how many dreams I've had where I can't see. I can barely see. And I had one recently like that, and I'm feeling around. And I woke up and I just knew that this time in our life is not going to necessarily be about seeing. It's going to be more about feeling things out, okay? Because we're also going to have to be adaptable to change. So at some point, you're going to be at a halt and you're going to be at a stop. You're going to be able to kind of coordinate things, plan things out, weigh your pros and your cons. That is always there. That's the justice of Mayat. Those things are always so crucial and so important. But there's a level of listening to your heart while going through this process that will guide you in the right direction so that you can kind of adapt to the change that's going on. So we have that, and then we have the shaman. Okay, the shaman is coming through really clear, and then a couple other cards that really backed up this being still and this whole heart chakra energy was Lady Nadia, which is heart awakening. So I just kind of asked what type of master energy is here to assist us right now. And again, I can't tell you how many times I keep hearing heart awakening, heart awakening, heart awakening. Okay, it's around me. It's everywhere. The synchronicities are everywhere. If you just listen, they will pop up. So that's Lady Nadia, heart awakening. And I wrote here, when I read about it a little bit, was heart opening wide. You have an opportunity to overcome past pain. And so I also received that with Master Buddha, which means to increase your awareness. And this is about, again, diving deep, and that a lot of past pain and things in your past that didn't feel very good are going to start popping up, okay? They're going to start coming up to the surface, and it's so that you can learn, so that you can pay attention to, again, like I said, the emotions are the guide. What hasn't been serving you? What hasn't made you feel good? This is kind of a time of really, when it says be still, of reflecting, okay? Reflecting on the past and having kind of that moment where you just are reflecting on the past, learning about your past, seeing what you didn't like, where you might have, made the wrong choices, or, things that you maybe didn't see in a certain perspective but now are able to. So we're really reflecting back on things. We're really feeling things. I don't know about you, but I'm having a lot of dreams and a lot of energies that I need to let go of, that I need to release, okay? And that is the time for this. This is why we are being called to a standstill. This is why we are being called at a halt, okay? And it's also about all the art that you do right now, all the things that you're able to do, that is also going to assist you in that, because that is a form of meditation. And when you start flowing, when the flow comes through you, when the art comes through you, it will start to bring up energies to the surface. Watch, when you do art, things will just start popping up in your mind. Watch, because you're not thinking, you're flowing, you're listening. And then just acknowledge it, learn from it, and just let it go. most important thing, always, 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 is to let it go, okay? I do work with my drum, and this helps me the most. Sometimes I just play the drum and I sing, and you know, I'm focusing on the rhythm. I'm focusing on that trance, that rhythm, and eventually, watch, certain thoughts will just start to pop up to the surface. And what I do is I use the power of the drum to just say, okay, release this, let it go. And it helps so much. That's the biggest tool I've learned, is to let it go. And nobody teaches us that. I mean, there are very few people. Spiritual teachers will tell you this, but it's way more profound when you begin to work with it as a tool and a modality, and you see that it works. Okay, let it go. Let it go. Don't hold on to it, because it's holding you back and it's weighing you down. Learn and let it go. And that's what increased awareness is about, okay? That's Master Buddha, meditation, increased awareness. It also says Master Buddha is also about focusing on what priorities really matter and are important to you, and what is essential. So again, this is that whole reflection process. Remember, I said you're thinking about what doesn't work for you, what hasn't felt right for you in the past, learning from that and letting it go so that you can move on and surround yourself in the energy, in the things that are right and are essential for you. And then from this place, sorry, my nose, from this place, you can start to claim your power, okay? So that was another one that I received, is the blade. So I have the blade, which this is about cutting. This is about cutting energy. It's cutting cords, cutting ties that no longer serve you. But it's also about sticking that blade in the ground and claiming your strength and claiming your power and claiming your integrity. So we have this cycle here. These are what I got from my Vision Quest Tarot, my another shamanic deck that I have. So we got hurt and interference. And remember I said the tower was a call. It was like a call for help, okay? And then the interference came. That call was answered, okay? That's what this interference is. It's like a loud screech, okay? But that screech, even though it hurts, it's a call for help. It is a call for help. In this reading, this is how I see it. This is how I know it. And I've had this listening to my heart and knowing I'm hearing the call. I'm hearing the call of Gaia, and I'm hearing the call of our consciousness collectively, okay? I'm hearing it. And then 9 of air, that's the hurt. So that was the hurt that I was talking about, releasing and letting go. I mean, I don't think we realize how much we've been hurting ourselves with this cycle, with this pattern, with this roboticness that we've been in, and also the fact that we haven't had time to be still and reflect and let go of all the pain and all the hurt. That hurt has just been sticking to us like glue, lingering on to us. So we were hurting, and we called for the interference, and we called for the help. And now we have the blade. We have the time to sit and reflect, and we have the blade. We have the blade to cut all these things out, okay? Cut them all out, and stake your ground, and find your integrity. That was the other one that came up with this reading, was integrity, and also pleasure. Pleasure did come up as well, because there is a lot of pleasure that we're experiencing, a lot of bliss, being able, if you are finding that you're able to relax in the eye of the storm right now, and you're able to do certain things that calm you or soothe you, or do certain things that you haven't had time to do, really tending to the small things, which is another card that I received, the mouse spirit, tending to the small things. If you're really able to do that, you're gonna watch things start to flow and kind of click into place, and you really are gonna just open your heart. So this has water flowing through it, and those are the emotions again, and this is about opening your heart, and this is about the give and receiving in balance. So before the the type of society that we lived in, it was always about give, 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 give. Every day you work, every day you put your time, your energy into giving, and honestly, we were receiving crap back. I will tell you that we are receiving crap back. We are. We're not receiving the abundance that we deserve, that is in our right as a divine being, as a human. We have way more rights than this. Food, shelter, clothing, those are given to us by the earth as a right. They do not need to be ranked. They do not need to be put in a class. There is no reason why people should have more than other people, right? So we were giving so much energy of ourselves, but we really weren't receiving enough, and we were hurting ourselves. So and we were blocking our heart, and we were cutting it out. And so, like, this moment is about, opening your heart, tending to all those little things that your heart wants to do, those little things that add up, those little things that are very profound, and letting and receiving all of this beautiful, beautiful love and bliss and into your life. So the pleasure is there, you guys. It's there. If you can just find ways to really tend to those small things that you haven't been able to do, going out, riding your bike, making art. For me, I can just say what I've been doing: sewing, writing poetry. Maybe you like to build things. Maybe you work with wood. Maybe you like to make jewelry, all those things. And that was another thing. I pulled bring your ideas to life. So this is kind of the part of the passage that we're going through, because again, right, it's about what is essential to you. So what is essential to you are these small little things that can grow and be profound and be the proper structure in your life that truly allows you to be abundant, that truly allows you to make, give, and receive. And this is what a community should be based off of. This is a universal principle, a universal law of Mayat, of the high priestess, okay? And so, yes, it is about what is essential. What are the little things? The little ideas, bringing your ideas to life that can provide an abundance and can truly provide a way of life for you that is abundant. This is the Queen of Pentacles energy, okay? This is somebody who is not just worrying about a buck and a dime and living in a robotic state. This is somebody that knows, no. This is somebody that knows her time is way more finite than money, okay? And that she wants to bring that essence, but is again, that presence that is, so way more important again than money, to the external, and wants to connect to it and create from that. And that's where true abundance comes from. So again, it's about what is essential, and this is where the shaman comes in, okay? So the shaman comes in. We have the shaman. We got two shamans. Again, another wolf howling at the moon, and this is the mystical shaman. And so I wrote here, what really motivates you, what your inner heart and core truly desire. This is what this passage is a lot about. And it says, being able to recognize patterns, breaking them, trusting your gut, heart opening, listening to truth. It says it may hurt, but it is here to set you free, to claim the bounty that is waiting for you. Okay? God, I love these cards. And again, so I'm almost done here. So what I got at the end here was, again, so it also says know your worth. Know your worth, guys. Know your worth. That is what I was talking about, the Queen of Pentacles. She knows her worth. She knows her time is finite, and she knows her essence, her presence, her creativity is way more finite as well. More finite than money. That it brings more abundance, and that it should kind of be the other way around. We live very ass backwards, no offense, but it's true. We live backwards. And that's why I feel like this passage is also about a shift. I keep hearing a call. I keep hearing a shift. I keep hearing like things clicking into place, okay? Because It's about things that need to be flipped and reversed and go the other way, okay? And this is about duality again. And this is how consciousness is just amazing like this. This is just how consciousness works too as well. So it's about flipping things in reverse and realizing that your creativity, your presence is what brings the abundance. And that is why it's saying bring your ideas to life. And that is also where the child comes into play as well. Remember, I said from the minute we are born, things are trying to change us from who we are and what we are. But if we allowed ourselves from the minute we were born to let who we are unfold, and we were allowed to bring our ideas to life, those gifts that we have individually, like I was talking about, we could share them with the community and all live abundantly as a community. Now, we probably have a long way to go, but I feel like something is happening, you guys. Something is happening where these principles might begin to they might come into play, okay? They might start to come into play. I've already had this insight or like these profound moments that have just struck my core where I've seen it happening around me. These moments are so powerful. It's so hard to explain, but they're so powerful that you can't deny them. And then you watch things unfold, and this is how the high priestess works. She's like a little astral realm, or like a heart. Like, she just guides you. She takes you to all these places where she gives you these little breadcrumbs, and then they unfold. Okay, that's how the high priestess works. She's different than the hierophant, which is like the teacher. The high priestess is a little different. So she's been feeding all these little breadcrumbs, and now I'm kind of watching it unfold. And these energies, these feelings, they've been happening throughout my lifetime, like big time, from since I was very young. But the last one that I'm speaking about, where I really was seeing that bringing our ideas to life, bringing our creativity to the community, where that was going to be so important, was probably about a year ago. And it was amazing, you guys. It made me cry. Okay. I can't believe I'm sharing that with you. So then we have Sacred Journey. Okay, what I'm talking about is such a sacred journey. I think a lot of us came here to experience this sacred journey. It's a powerful journey. This is a very powerful journey we're on, you guys. So the sacred journey, and I think the sacred journey, I have stag spirit, which is such a beautiful spirit. I think this energy is so right. It's all about taking the lead, bringing your ideas to life, and knowing your worth. It's about breaking free from those chains and doing this, okay, you guys? Take the lead. Know your worth. God, you're going to start to look at the skunk in a whole other way. And bring your ideas to life, okay? All right? And again, and don't get too caught up in it. I think that's why it's like stepping stones, okay, you guys? That's why it says tend to the small things, because it's stepping stones. If you start to get ahead of yourself, it will block your energy and block you from allowing to let your ideas come through, okay? So step by step, step by step. So that's the sacred journey. That's the sacred journey we're on, you guys. And it's a beautiful, beautiful freaking lesson from the high priestess, all right? The high priestess is like these forces, these energies, these like laws and principles. And the earth is kind of like the hierophant a little bit, it's... yeah, and it has layers. I'm feeling like it has layers. I'm feeling like the earth is kind of the high priestess energy, and then the reality that we live in, the paradigm that we've created, this bubble within a bubble, or world within a world, is a little bit more hierophant-y. It's kind of like the school, the teaching. And then it's flying into spring, and we are flying into spring, right? So it's about blossoming, bringing your ideas to life, bringing that inner child to life, blossoming and flying, okay? Blossoming and flying. This is a fresh new start, fresh new energy. And then the other thing I just want to say, this card that I held up, which was so important to me, is the Hunter. And the Hunter is about the indigenous cultures. When they hunted, they never took more than what they needed, because they understood that they only took what they needed, and then this would allow the natural cycle, the natural rhythm of life to provide abundance. But if they messed up that natural rhythm, they messed up that natural cycle of life, then there wouldn't be any abundance or food left for the next year. And that's something we really, really have to understand, because we are going down the slippery slope of the hunter who tries to take and gather way too much, okay? And that's fear, that's ego, that's not heart-based, all right? The last thing I wanted to read was something about the mystical shaman, and then that is it. That I'm done. I've been talking so fast. My stomach is jumping. I'm just going to read a small sentence here. It says, "You are called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement." What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there were no need to explain you to anyone, not even to yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up, as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. To me, this is the shaman, the child, the high priestess. Yes, I will leave it at that. Hope some of you listen to this all the way through. Thank you if you have, and if you have any questions, or just want to talk to me about anything, or maybe you want to learn about how to work with cards, or want to do a reading, or have any questions about divination or anything like that, feel free to reach out. We should always reach out, and we should always share with each other, okay? All right. Bye. I want to say namaste, but I don't know. How about aho? It's not a prayer, but mitako yoyase to all my relations. Take care. Bye now.